inclinations. The whole thing, whole structure. It's the old foolish king. Foolish because the evil inclination, as we know the nature of the evil inclination, it wants this pleasure now. It doesn't think about, well, if I hold off, it'll be better in the future. Right? It wants X pleasure now. Okay, and a king because it's dominating. It was there first. The poor wise child is the good inclination. He's poor. He's wise because he's a good, because it understands that, you have to do things for the reward in the next world. We have to work now, and tomorrow is for receiving the reward. Right? It's a child because it's new, and it's poor because it's not in control. It's just a small little voice. Meanwhile, the king is on his throne, and he's given all the commands. So here comes your good urge, which has to come on the scene and try to go ahead and take over the kingdom. Good luck with all that. Okay? So the old patterns. So matzah is the food of the child. It is. Why? Because don't forget, when the water hit the food and it's baked right away, it didn't get to ferment. Okay? So this goes into really, it's so amazing. Let me just see here. Skip ahead here. Unbelievable. In the Haggadah, we honor the youngest child to say the four kashas. And the opinions of the Ari and many commentaries say after he says it, you should say it too. Everybody should say it. Everybody ends up really singing it. It's such a wonderful song, right? Who can resist, right? But we always honor the youngest child. Okay? It also goes into the whole idea of when you start off the Magid, that we start off with with where we came from. When we start off telling the Passover Haggadah and the whole story, we talk about how Abraham came from Terach, and and there was Lavan, and that we came from idolaters. We came from idolatry. So the idea here was in the days of Terach. He was the idol dealer at the time. He was number one, right, of the biggest idol factory in the world. And he had this little son, and the little son Avraham Avinu, at 3 years old, he came up with questions. He was the one who started asking questions. He says, "What's this going on here? Why? What? Why is this? Why is that?" So here's the person. It took a child to go ahead and cause the entire shift of the world. The childlike mind, the innocence, right? The tamimus, the simplicity. Matzah is very simple food. The simplicity is so simple. Not even salt, right? It's so simplistic. So here the child, just like Avraham Avinu, here he was as a 3-year-old child. He stands up and he asks questions to Terach and all the system. He asks questions against the system. Some places you ask questions, they beat the living daylights out of you, right? No questions, no. He asks questions. So here on Seder night, the whole shifting of everything, and you're going to see the whole theme. The real whole theme of the entire night is to get into that child self. Is to tap into that. So we just to go back, okay? We have to search the chametz. You have to find certain patterns of behavior that aren't working for you anymore. You really have to find them. That's step 1. Then step 2 is you have to burn the chametz the next day. Actually, before you do that, you even say a kol chamira. You have to say a bittul. A bittul is a nullification. One has to make a declaration of a nullification. But the interesting thing is, the nullification of the night before as opposed to the day after is different. Okay? Step 1, you have to do the search. Step 2 is you have to destroy it. And then after you destroy it, then you have to make another nullification.
What is the search process?
What is it? So basically what you have to do is people will put, according to the Ramah, you'll hide 10 crumbs, little bits of bread. You have to seal them real good in foil or a bag because you don't want to get in crumbs. And if you got mice around, you shouldn't do it. Because if a mice steals one, then you got to recheck again. You got to go crazy. Some people, it takes a long time to check. Believe me, I have a history of checking, right? Sometimes at 2 a.m.
But you're saying the soul, right? The soul. We're talking about checking the soul.
Yeah, but you have to do a physical check because this physical check awakens you to do the spiritual check.
The spiritual check.
Okay? This is about that, right? It's all one and the same. Search and destroy, because within that chametz, you'll see this is where our soul is. We're searching Yerushalayim. We're searching for the Yerushalayim in our hearts. You have to remove the mosque, okay? You have to find the mosque, okay? So you put it, but it's not just enough to find the 10 crumbs that you leave on the chair and on the table and underneath this chair. You have to really check around where chametz might have gone, okay? And if you have kids, oy vavoy, you really got to check. Crazy, okay? Because who knows where? It's amazing where they stash stuff. Right? Amazing. It's just amazing. And nowadays, it's even more precarious because, it always bothered me. Why do I have to check if I'm going to do a nullification? The Gemara asked this question. Why do you have to, if you're going to nullify it, you're going to make a declaration. All leaven that is in my possession that I know or don't know shall be nullified and become as dust of the earth. It's not mine anymore. Even though it's not mine. Right? You nullified it. You took it out of your shoes with your mind, with your mouth. So why would you need to do this strenuous activity of going under the bed and in your closets and in the pockets in your closets? You got to check your car. You got to check any place where chametz might have gone. Okay? If chametz might have gotten the attic, you got to check the attic. You got to garage. You got to check the garage. You got to check every place or chametz might have gone. That's why we clean like crazy. We clean like crazy, not because it's spring cleaning and the weather's nice, okay? It's because, so the badika becomes easier. If you have a drawer, and you open up the drawer, and it's like that junk drawer that everybody has. I know. I have like at least six of them in my house, right? And you open up and you're like, and you got to start crawling through things to make sure there's no candy bars, okay?
That's not chametz. That's kinyo.
Kit Kat. Kit Kat is chametz. Don't touch. Okay, you're right. If it's a Snickers bar, you might be able to get away with it. Three Musketeers, for sure, it's only just nougat. Okay? But a Kit Kat, then they see. So I always was bothered, like, what are you going to, they're worried. You still have to check because you might find a gluska yafe. A gluska yafefe. Actually, that's the language. Gluska yafefe. You might find a good pastry. Dude, if I had a donut behind my couch, that thing is stale and rock solid. No one's going to take a bite of that on Chomet, on Pesach. Well, nowadays you got Kit Kats hermetically sealed. They can have a half-life of 10,000 years. Who knows what radioactivity is in those? Okay? And believe me, Entenmann's, I believe the same things, even though there's no Entenmann's in Texas anymore, except for those things that nobody buys. Entenmann's, you know Entenmann's cakes, those donuts? Those Entenmann's cakes, they have these cheesecakes. Man, but who knows what? It's like glowing in the dark, that stuff, because who knows? It doesn't get stale! It doesn't get stale! Okay? So in any case, okay, so in any case, now I forgot where I was. I'm just thinking about the Entenmann's, you know. I used to have it on Shabbos with the youth, every single Shabbos, and bring it.
If you ever go to
Nowadays, you can have things hermetically sealed, so you really got to worry about it. There are kids who all of a sudden, I heard a story today. This guy, he's a Rav, and he's got a hush of a wife, and all of a sudden they come in the middle of Pesach, kids sitting there munching on a bag of pretzels. They're both going to have a heart attack. What?
That was from Shlach Manas.
Exactly. He says, what do you think? I stashed my Shlach Manas. I'm not going to just get rid of it. They caught the kid, and I'm like, it's Chametz Pesach, you know. You think that I only have that stashed? You know? right? So she'll look